Hey everybody! Do I have volume? I have volume, yes! Happy Wednesday evening! Welcome to the beginning of our streaming week here at twitch.tv/Beading Dream. So today is our 3-year streamiversary. We did our first stream 3 years ago today, when we got shut down because of COVID. And yeah, somehow we're still doing it. So thank you all so much for being such great supporters of the Beading Dream. So on our, hi Silver, on our podcast stream tonight, we're going to be chatting about some of the funniest things that have ever happened on our stream. So some of you may have been there to experience those. Some of you may not have been there yet. We're going to, just span the whole 3 years and shout out some of the funniest things that have happened. But before then, I'm going to do a project for you guys. So our project for today is this one, and this is what I call a convertible chain necklace. So what makes it convertible is the fact that, okay, so you can see here that we've got a double chain with the toggle in the front, and then it's got a bunch of charms clipped onto the toggle. The charms are on the toggle. I think that might have been the wrong one. Nope, that's the right one. That's the right one. So the charms are held onto the toggle with one of my new favorite findings, which are these cool push clasps. So they don't have a trigger like a traditional lobster claw would, so you just push them and then you can take them off. And I like that because it gives you the facility to make an interchangeable charm, but it's a little bit cleaner looking than a traditional lobster claw with the trigger. So these are one of my new favorite thingies. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a second, take all my charms off of here. And I can show you the different ways you can wear this. And you can wear as many or as few charms as you want. Okay, so option one is, okay, you can do doubled with the toggle in back so that you just have a nice double chain necklace. You can do doubled with the toggle in front and hang charms off of it if you want. You can open it up and wear it long, so the toggle bar just sits at the back of your neck, and then you can clip charms onto the toggle in the front. Or you can, and this was not a great chain for this project, I picked a different one for my project tonight. Or you can double it, wear the toggle in back, and then just clip your charms in the middle. Once again, you can clip as many as you want to in the middle. Like so. So it's actually a really fun, versatile piece because you can do a lot of things with it. So as far as what you're going to need to accomplish this, you're going to need a fairly long piece of chain. And this is because of the doubling factor. So let's see, this piece of chain is 24. Okay, so this piece of chain, sorry, I don't know why that was so hard for me, because I could have done it the easy way, and I chose not to. So yeah, this is about 38 inches of chain. I'm making my one today a little bit shorter, so I'm using 34 inches of chain. You just need to make sure that it's, it can go double around your neck and still be comfortable to wear. Obviously, you don't want to choke yourself to death while you're trying to wear your necklace double. So I have, for my project today, I've got 34 inches of chain, and I'm using this cool textured paper clip chain. So I've got 34 inches of that. I have a toggle clasp, and I'm not thrilled with that toggle, but it was kind of slim pickings. I don't like the color of it, and it doesn't actually go with my, so I'm going to pick a different toggle, but you need a toggle of some sort. I've got 5 of my little push lobsters. And then I've got the things that I'm going to make into my charms. So I'm going to show you how to kind of deal with some different kinds of things and make them into charms. So I just have I've got a really pretty smoky quartz bead, and I'm going to use those little brass beads with it. I have this bronze bee charm, and I'm going to use this peridot bead on top of that. I just have a pretty top drilled labradorite, and then I have two just basic charms that are going to go on with jump rings. I've got my key and I've got my little elephant. So let me just real quick go grab another toggle and I'll be right back. Alright, we're going to use this one because this, oh, I am so jelly, Lori. Though, can you share your recipe? Because I lost my good recipe for bread and butter pickles, and the last batch I made did not taste very good. Okay, so I changed to this toggle, which is actually one of my favorite toggles from our Fabulous Findings Trunk Show, which, by the way, the Fabulous Findings Trunk Show will be starting next week, Monday, for all my locals, and we're going to be unpacking it on Monday, so it'll probably be shoppable by the end of the day, like the latter part of the afternoon on Monday. If you are not local, I will, of course, be running the findings through our Saturday evening sales, starting as soon as, starting next week, because we're not going to have it open this Saturday. So if you have any findings requests, go ahead and put them in the requests channel on Discord. If you're not a member of our Discord, don't forget you can just type !Discord into the Twitch chat. That will give you that invitation link for our Discord. And that's all I have to say about that. But if there's something that you really are needing, something that you really want to see, put it up in the request tab, and I will be happy to add that to our curated selection that will be running through the sales. Okay, so first let's go ahead and assemble the chain part. So I'm going to need to take my chain and I want to section it into 2 equal parts. So I've found the middle, and I'm just going to cut that link. Oh, pot roast. You know, they had chuck roast on sale the other day and I should have bought one, but I didn't. Okay, so I've sectioned my chain into 2 pieces. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach my toggle. Also, by the way, Corvus did receive her super special package. So at the end of our chat stream, which is going to be about 8:30 p.m. Central Time, we are going to go ahead and raid her, and she is going to unbox it live on the air. I guarantee you there will be some reactions that you probably don't want to miss. Alright, so, okay, so we've got 2 jump rings. Now, I could, yes, I think I am. So because of the size of this loop on my toggle, because this is pretty small, I'm going to actually attach the 2 pieces of chain with a single jump ring. Whereas on my sample, I actually used a jump ring for each piece of chain, but the loop on this toggle is not big enough to accommodate 2 jump rings, so we're just going to use 1. So I'm just going to take my 2 pairs of chain nose pliers, and I'm going to grab that jump ring and twist it open. Oh, thank you, Lori. Alright, twist it open, and then I'm just going to drop these 2 chain ends on there. So just find the last link of the chain, drop it onto your jump ring, drop the other piece of chain onto your jump ring, drop your toggle onto your jump ring, and then close it up nice and tight. So when you're closing it, make sure that you feel the 2 edges of your ring scraping against each other. And you want to close it up if possible so that you can't see any light through that joint. always easier to close it if you can, you know, actually see it. Well, you can raid with us, Lori. We're gonna go ahead and raid her at the end of our podcast stream. So you can just come right on along with us. And once again, since it is our 3-year stream anniversary today, we are going to be talking about the funniest and weirdest things that ever happened on our stream. Okay, so again, I'm going to twist that jump ring open. I'm going to go to the other end of my chain. And I'm going to take those 2 pieces. Oh, and somebody should post that in Discord and tag Ace that Corvus is unboxing her special box tonight. Okay, so now I'm just going to take that and close it up. And that's it. That's the chain part. So now I have my convertible chain that I can wear with my toggle in the front or the back. So see, since this was only 34 inches of chain, it's a lot shorter than the other one. It's actually a pretty nice length. I like that. Or I can wear it or I can get it stuck on my neck, or I can wear it long like this. Ta-da! So that's it. The chain is literally just that simple. So now let's talk about the charms. You sit there. Okay, so at some point I need to talk to somebody who's tech savvy to find out why my stream is jumping like this. I'm guessing it's because I need to upgrade my video card now that I have two multifocal cameras, which I may just go back to one multifocal camera because that seems easier to me than upgrading the video card. But anyway, if anybody has any insight on that, because it's definitely, it's not a broadcasting problem, it's a computer problem. And I know it's annoying. It's annoying to me too. Okay, so let's start with the bead. Okay, so how do you make a bead into a charm? Super, super simple. And we're not indulging yet, but you can if you've got stuff already. For super, super. Okay, so I've got my bead. I've got my push lobster. I promise Heather is not actually dying. She just sounds like she's dying.
I'm not dying.
She's just being slowly murdered by tree sex.
I am.
And then I'm going to use those 2 little beads. So I'm going to put one on the bottom. And this is a good trick as well if you have, like this Roman glass bead that I used for this charm has really big holes. Like there's not a head pin in the world that's big enough to hold this on. So you can use the beads with the smaller holes to plug up that big hole and make it so it will stay on the head pin, won't fall off. So I've got 1 bead on my head pin, and then I've got my smoky quartz on my head pin, and then I've got my other bead. And now, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a basic wire wrap loop. I know, I'm so predictable. Oh, that head pin isn't big enough. Hold, please. Okay, let's try this again. So we've got, yes, much better. All right, so brass bead, smoky quartz, other brass bead, and now we get to proceed to making the basic wire wrap loop. So I'm going to grab my round nose pliers. Those are my pliers that I use for making loops and curves. And I want to make sure that my wire wrapped loop is big enough to go around this loop here. Okay, so since this is, it's not too thick, but don't make your wire wrap loop so tiny because then you won't actually be able to get it onto the finding that you're trying to get it onto. So we're gonna take our round nose and we're gonna snug them right against that top bead. And then we're gonna use our other hand, our non-plier hand, and we're gonna go away and rotate our pliers up just 1/8 of a turn so you're grabbing right on that corner you just made. Then you're going to pull your wire back up over the top of your pliers towards you and all the way down until it hits the bead in the front. Then you're going to rotate your pliers out of the way and then finish that circle by going underneath your pliers. Sorry, did not mean to take that off camera. Okay, so underneath your pliers like so. Come on, focus. You know you want to. Maybe you don't want to. You were doing so well, autofocus. There we go. Yes. Technology finally works. Okay, so now what I've done is I've made a loop around my pliers. And I can take those pliers out and I'm going to grab my little lobster claw and I'm just going to feed that loop up my wire and into the circle that I just made so that it's hanging freely. And then we're going to hold across all of that with your chain nose pliers so that you're holding both sides of the loop. You may be holding your lobster claw as well. That's okay. It's fine if you do, it's fine if you don't. And then we're just going to take this wire and we're going to wrap it starting at the base of my loop. So I'm going to start right at the bottom of my pliers. And if your piece of wire is too skinny, like if you can't actually get a hold of it, you can use another plier. Not too skinny, too short is what I meant. And you can use that to pull it around, and that is extraordinarily helpful when you've got just a little tiny nubbin of wire like this. And ideally you want to wrap all the way down until you reach that top bead of yours. Oh my goodness, really? Ooh, I made an oopsie because I couldn't see. There we go. Okay, so wrapping that down until I hit the bead. So that oopsie that I just fixed is I had accidentally wrapped this top wrap around the end of my pliers because I was holding it under the camera. I couldn't see it. Ooh, 50 degrees. Go, Lori. It was actually yucky humid today. It wasn't that hot, but it was so moist. All right, we're gonna trim that off, and then you've got your little stabby pokey bit that's there. You want to go ahead and just smash that down with your chain nose. There you go. So see, basic wire wrap loop really is the key to everything. All right, so that's one charm down. Now, next one is going to be the top drilled wire wrap. So for those of you who have been on, oh yay, that's awesome. Okay, so for those of you who have been on the Beading a Dream stream before, you know that this is adjacent to the basic wire wrap loop. It just has an extra set of first steps, and then the basic wire wrap loop comes second. So I've got some thin gold-filled wire. This is 24 gauge. I'm going to hope it fits through this labradorite. If it doesn't, I'm going to need to run and grab some 26 gauge. Typically when you're working with teardrops, 26 and 28 gauge are going to be the sizes that you'll use most often. Yeah, that 24 gauge does not want to go. I feel like I shoved. Okay. There's some room. Alright, so I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to put it through my teardrop. So what I want here is I want a short side and I want a long side. So I want the short side to be about 1 inch or so and the long side to be the entire rest of my length of wire. Cut myself about 2-3 inches. I probably don't need that much, but better safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and take that wire and I want to bend it up against the holes in my bead to make a triangle. And I want the point of that triangle to be directly above the point of my bead. Then I'm going to grab my chain nose pliers. I'm going to grasp the longer of the two wires directly above the point where those two wires cross, and then I'm just going to rotate my pliers slightly while holding the wire to bring it straight up. So now what I've done is I've centered my wire along the central axis of my bead. So if I were to draw an imaginary line through the center of my bead, it will continue up through this wire until it starts to get kind of wonky. Then I'm going to wrap the short wire around the long wire, and I usually just do that with my fingers, and once again we want this to be nice and tight. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of pinching it and bracing with my thumbnail so that I can get a really tight first wrap. Okay, and if you get a really tight first wrap, then the rest of your wraps will probably follow suit. So then I'm just going to keep wrapping, and I don't want too many wraps, so I'm going to go for like 2 or 3. There we go. So you want 2 or 3 nice tight coils, and then you can trim off the short one. Don't trim off the long one, you need that. And press your end down. Now comes the basic wire wrap loop, what we just did. So place your pliers so that they're touching the top of that wire wrap that you just made, and then we're going to go away, rotate, back up over the top, rotate again, and underneath, and we call this Our Lady with a Scarf, where you've got a completed loop but you have not yet wrapped it. I'm going to grab another one of those little push clasps and just take my wire up and into my loop, and then hold across your loop with your chain nose, like so. Make sure you're holding both sides of that loop, and then you're just going to wrap down, starting at the base of the loop until you meet the end of wire that is already in existence. And you're going to trim and smush down. So that is charm number 2. Really pretty flashy labradorite right there. Okay, number 3, we're going to use a basic wire wrap link on that one with this peridot bead to hang it from our little push lobster. Cool. So now I'm going to use my 24 gauge wire because I just verified that it does fit through this peridot bead, and I want it to be as sturdy as possible. So I'm going to start with a basic wire wrap loop with no beads on my wire, okay? So no beads on my wire, basic wire wrap loop. Take your round nose pliers and just grab about an inch or so from the end of your wire. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do that push away. And loosen, rotate, and grab right on that corner. Come on, focus. There we go. I'm going to take that wire that I pushed away, I'm going to bring it back up over the top of my pliers and down until it meets that wire in the front. Then I'm going to give my pliers another rotation and finish that circle by going underneath. So once again, I have my lady with a scarf. So I'm going to take my lady with the scarf and I'm going to attach that to my bead charm, once again just by feeding it up the wire and into the loop. And then we are going to hold across, hold across firmly with your chain nose pliers, and then once again we're going to take this, we're going to try and get a really nice tight first coil, and then we're going to coil about 2 more coils after that, so we've got a total of about 3. Like so. Trim. And when you're trimming, take the flat side of your cutters and put it towards your coil. You'll get a much neater and cleaner cut. And if your coils are a little far apart like mine are, you can actually take your pliers and kind of scrunch them together vertically. And then press your end down. Okay, so now I've got my 24 gauge wire attached to my charm. I'm going to grab my peridot bead drop that onto the wire, like so. Now once again, basic wire wrap loop. So we're just going to go away, rotate, back up over the top, rotate, underneath. So once again, lady with a scarf, there she is. Attach that side to my little clasp, just feed it up the wire and into the loop like so, and hold across. Wrap. And now we're just going to wrap until we get down to the bead. Like so. Yeah, autofocus is definitely not my friend today. There we go. And now we're going to just go ahead and trim that off. Once again, use the very tip of your cutters and put the flat side towards your coil. And then take that part that's poking out and just press it down. And there you go. Okay, and then the last one is the easiest. We're just going to do one, and I'm just going to do one. I don't think I need to do two because it's the same thing. So this last one we're just going to attach with a jump ring. So this is what you do when you have a clasp that has a loop that is not open. So you're just going to take a good sturdy jump ring. So I've got one of my little 5mm jump rings that I use to attach my chain together. And I'm going to open it up. Again, we're going to do that by twisting it. I'm just going to drop my charm and my lobster onto that jump ring. And then we're going to close it up nice and securely so that there's no airspace in between the two sides of that ring. So you need them to be touching. And that is by far the easiest charm to make, just attached with a jump ring. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 charms. You could make more if you wanted to. You can also, make a bunch of these and you can switch them on and off of different necklaces. That's actually one of the eye charms that Sophia brought from Greece. I really like that one. So you can just make a whole little kind of suite of these and then switch them on and off of your necklaces. And so then if I want to wear this, say I wanted to wear this long, then I could just take however many charms I wanted to and just add them onto this toggle, like so. I'm just going to do 3. And there you go. Oops, put it right side up. So there you go, 3 charms, and I can just pop that on, wear it long. Or if I want to, I can take it and I can just bring my end around, put it through the toggle, and wear it short. So that's it. That's your convertible chain necklace. It really is an extremely simple project. Once again, it's just a rearranging of all of the techniques that you already know from our past tutorials, just kind of all smooshed together into one project for the purposes of this lesson. You also can take your charms if you want, and you can clip them onto the links. Oh my gosh, really? The links of the chain, provided you have a link that's big enough to do that. So you can also hang charms up the chain if you want to, either in the short or long versions. So thank you all so much for tuning in for our Wednesday evening tutorial. I know it was a really simple one, but sometimes you just gotta focus on the simple stuff. So we will be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, both Heather and myself, with our podcast stream celebrating our 3rd streamiversary. We've been doing this for 3 years, y'all. So in celebration of our 3rd streamiversary, we are going to talk about some of the funniest things that have ever happened on this stream. And then at the end of that stream, we will be rating Crafty Skull Corvus as she unboxes this super special present that Lori and Ace sent her via me. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out, watching the tutorial. Don't forget about us. We'll be back on, yep, that's going to be one of them. We'll be back on this channel, twitch.tv/Beading Dream, in 30 minutes with our chatting podcast stream. Twitch doesn't always notify you, so set an alarm on your watch or your phone or whatever. And we'll see you guys back here in 30. Bye, y'all.